Senator Andrew Online has asked a number of questions about climate change. What can you tell us about Paris and your thoughts on climate change?
So Andrew, right now there are government officials from our country and from other countries throughout the world who are talking about what they can do internationally about climate change. Here's my number one concern with this. I want to make sure that any international agreement that we sign on to that has the name of the United States on it receives full consideration by the United States Senate. As you're aware, the U.S. Constitution contemplates and in fact requires that any treaty to which we sign our name as the United States of America may take effect as a treaty and may become binding law of the land if and only if that treaty receives the appropriate advice and consent of the Senate. It has to be ratified, in other words, ratified by a 2/3 supermajority vote in the United States Senate. There are important reasons for this. This is one of the few instances where something can become law of the land without both houses of Congress acting to adopt a law. This is one of the few instances in which we can assent to an international agreement. It's important that the Constitution requires this 2/3 supermajority vote in order for a treaty to take effect, for the simple reason that if this is going to have a long-term binding impact on the American people, if the good name of the United States of America is going to be on the line, this ought to be debated and discussed in an open forum, as it will be anytime it's debated and discussed for advice and consent purposes in the United States Senate. Absent such consideration and absent such ratification, we have no business signing our name onto that agreement. So regardless of what they come up with, I don't know what that agreement's going to look like. I don't know whether they will even have an agreement at the end of it. But if they do, it is absolutely essential, regardless of how you feel about climate change, what, if anything, the government can do to deal with it, regardless of how you feel on those issues, you should want the United States Senate to have a say in this so that this can be properly debated and discussed before it becomes the law of the land.